Hello, everyone. It's your host, SethTheProgrammer, and with me today, I have a good acquaintance, SuperGhost, and
What's up, guys?
we're gonna be doing a pretty interesting video. It's gonna be Goku versus Superman, why it's different than people think. All right. Now, if you guys have followed me for a while, people call me a Dragon Ball tard. They say I'm a Superman hater. That's perfectly understandable from like all my content and stuff. I totally get it, right? But Goku vs. Superman is not as concrete as everyone makes it out to be, including myself. I've said Goku beats Superman. Super Ghost has actually said Superman beats Goku. But there are a lot of variables to that. And the variable is definitely what the writers think about Superman. How about you go into more detail about that?
Well, that's exactly true because the writers think, like every writer, think otherwise of the characters. There is like a writer, Jerry Ordway, who was at first an artist, who thinks that the post-Christ Superman, the pre-52 Superman we know,
Yeah.
is pretty much like limited, actually. And then there's other post-crisis writer named Joe Casey who says that Superman is actually limitless and unbeatable. Well, I see it like that. People have different interpretations about Superman.
Right.
Like they see him differently. They like Grant Morrison is the best example for that. He thinks that Superman is like God, like he's a
Yeah.
godlike being. He's stronger than anybody. Like no one can beat him. He's unstoppable. And then there are other writers who like Dan Jurgensen who writes him like, yeah, he can be beaten. He have clear limits, like in Death of the Superman, best story, best example.
Yeah.
Um, of that, yeah. Well, that's actually the thing. They see him like sometimes as God and sometimes as fodder.
Like for example, there's some Supermen that like sometimes they have to like try really hard, go fast in light. I think there's the
Yes.
Shadow Moon feat where it's like,
Yes.
oh, Superman had to struggle to reach fast and light speeds to do the infinite mass punch and
Mm,
blew through the multi-planetary or star level Shadow Moon. I don't really know what the feat is, but
yes.
and then there's other Supermen that are just flat out tanking explosions from stars and then flying across the universe while fucking extremely weakened in like 60 days, which is billions of times faster than light almost casually and
Yeah.
shit like that. It's almost the equivalent of imagine there's Toriyama writes Dragon Ball,
Yeah.
and then imagine Toyotaro takes the reins and makes his own Dragon Ball series that's somehow canon but not exactly linked to the main story, and he's contradicting everything Toriyama says, but they're both canon, right?
Yeah.
And then you have Toei making another canon. It's pretty much like that. It's like it's kind of like Dragon Ball movies versus the canon timeline versus the games, all of that, except pretty much all of it's canon, right? Because I think you told me this before, but most Superman comics are in fact canon or something like that.
Yes, DC made everything in the canon again. Everything. There are like many low ends, but also high ends.
Right.
But we should like every time use like the mid tier feeds that are like really,
Consistent.
yeah, consistent.
So this is pretty much the equivalent of like I said before, it's like imagine the Dragon Ball movies, the games, the anime, and the manga. All of them said different shit, but all of them were canon.
Yes.
It's kind of like that. So it's a little bit ridiculous. Like I know, like a lot of people think, I'm a Dragon Ball tard, but like I'm pretty open minded about this. I think it could go either way depending on who's writing Superman. And actually, speaking of that, Super Ghost is actually going to help me create a power scale on Superman. Why Superman is stronger than people think. We're going to be going over the powers of Superman, probably post-Crisis. I think that's probably my favorite Superman. So we're going to be doing post-Crisis, including All-Star Superman and what is it? I think it's Strange Visitor and Cosmic Armor Superman.
Yes.
We're going to be doing
Yeah.
those Superman, so look forward to that. Please look forward to that. And other than that, guys, Goku versus Superman, we should all just, as Superman and Dragon Ball fans, just shake hands on it. It's a lot more complicated than we think. All right.
Yes, well, that's exactly true. We should really go like one guy, like one writer named Tony stated like really that if both would fight, it would be a draw, and they would team up. Because we can't, like, I think he knows that you can't scale Superman like that. He can only scale him by his opinion. He even stated that it's coming down to who writes Superman.
Yeah, and I think Jerry Ordway actually talked about Goku versus Superman. Is that right?
Yes, exactly. He said Jerry Otway also said that it could go either way. Like, it depends on the variables. Superman could win or lose.
Yep. So there you have it. The authors and writers themselves are saying it depends on who's writing Superman. So I think as Dragon Ball Superman fans, we should just shake hands. There's no reason to argue about it because it's really dependent on who's just writing Superman, what they think about him. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to SuperGhost. I'll leave his channel in the description. And other than that, till next time.